If you've been looking to buy a house in France and been going over the different Facebook groups and other social media, you have no doubt come across someone stating such as this.
Buy a house in France today, and by 2033, you won't be able to use it.
The problem is, that is far from being correct. And the reason a lot of people are getting it wrong is actually quite simple. French laws aren't about the actual houses themselves, it's about how they are used. If you live in the property yourself, you're under one set of rules. And if you rent out the property long term, you're under a completely different set of laws. And that's where all this 2033 information starts getting twisted. I keep seeing similar posts all over social media, quite often being posted by self-proclaimed so-called experts. People quoting hearsay as if it was fact. A small extract of an energy report taken completely out of context, all talking about deadlines and saying properties will become unusable. And some are even suggesting that estate agents are hiding the facts. Now, I'm not trying to defend every single estate agent out there. That would be a kind of mission impossible. But there is a lot of misunderstanding out there, and it's important to clarify it. So let's start with the easy part. If you buy a house in France and live in it either full time or just use it for holidays as a secondary home, then well, that's it, end of story. The 2033 date just doesn't concern you. And that's when a whole load of you suddenly switch off this video and go elsewhere. No one is going to come along and knock on your door telling you to move out of your house, you can no longer use it. Certainly not for the DPE rules. It is totally your choice to improve your property or not improve it. If you wish to spend your winters shivering by a small fire with a badly insulated property, then that is your choice. Just in France, you're not allowed to inflict it onto others. Then you get onto the rental side. If you're thinking about renting out your property as a gîte for holidays through the summer, say, or if it's actually in mountains, possibly for the winter season, as long as you're under the 90-day threshold, then once again, this date does not concern you. Okay, there might be a few awkward communes, possibly even a district, that have particular laws they want to apply when it comes to holiday rentals, but in the large majority of cases there is no additional DPE measures, and no matter what anyone says to you. Where it does start to matter though is on long-term rentals. If you're actually renting out properties on what we call a 369 year contract, this is when you rent the property out and the actual tenants consider the property as their principal residence, not yours. That's where the rules do tighten. And this isn't something coming in the future, it is something which is already happening. Based on the energy reports of the houses, the actual very worst categories, which are classed as G, out of an A to G rating, already you can no longer rent out the property with any new tenants. Nor can you actually increase the present rent with any ongoing tenants. So part of the restrictions are already there. As of January 2028, that's going to extend to the F rating, and of January 2034, then it will be extended to the E ratings. So depending on how your property is rated and what date it comes into play, afterwards you can no longer sign any contracts with any new tenants. After that you have basically three choices. Either do the work to the property to bring it up to the higher levels so you can rent it out again, keep the property for yourself and use it as you want, or sell the property. You often hear people say, by 2033. Well, actually that's wrong anyhow. It's basically before the 1st of January 2034. So it is right, but not quite as such, like a lot of things we hear on social media. So yes, things are tightening, but it's not just one date where everyone will suddenly find themselves thrown out on their ears. It's a gradual transition for rental properties. And this is where the whole thing gets distorted. Basically, people hear one part of the story, then apply it generally to all cases. And all of a sudden, you have people saying, such as,
France will throw you out of your house in 2033.
which simply isn't the case. The real problem isn't the law itself, that is quite understandable. It's the way it's being explained, or not, as the case may be. Short clips, partial information, people repeating half-truths they've half heard, and it just creates a big image that, well, just isn't accurate. Now, to be clear, this does matter if you are thinking about buying property as an investment to rent out long term. You need to know where it sits today and where it will sit in the future, because that will affect how you can rent out your property and obviously your business plan. But that is a very far stretch from you will not be able to use your property at all. So before you get caught up in this 2033 myth, just take a step back and ask yourself a quick question. What do you want to use the house for? If you're going to live in it and just rent it out for the holidays, you have nothing to worry about. Just don't listen to all the 2033 myths. But if you are buying property to invest as a long-term rental to people, then yes, definitely pay attention to it. But try and get the information from the right people. Yes, there are rules. Yes, they are tightening. But it is not one rule for everyone. It is a rule for a specific situation. And like most things in France, once you understand it, it is actually quite logical. So if you are looking to buy a property in France and would like to have a one-to-one conversation with a professional, aka me, then scan the QR code on the screen there, or click on the link at the top or in the description. That will take you through to a form, and fill that out, send it off, and if I can help you, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'm Dan Newton, the French estate agent. À bientôt.